Hey there everybody, it's Missy with the Bella Boulevard creative team, and I'm back today with a new layout featuring the Illustrated Faith Delight in His Day collection. I love this collection. It's so bright and colorful and so many cute things, and as I was going through all of the papers and the embellishments, I saw that there were a lot of hot air balloons, and I've never made a layout with hot air balloons, and I thought those are so cute. They just sort of inspired me to create this page, and I thought I wanted to recreate some of those hot air balloons. And so I went through the Silhouette store and found a couple of cut files to use, and I've got one cut on white cardstock that's a bigger size, and then I created three smaller ones that I'm going to kind of piece together using papers from the 6x8 paper pad. So I've already done that on my Silhouette cameo here, and everything's already cut, and I don't think I had my blade on a high enough setting, and so I had to kind of punch some things out and help it along, but everything turns out okay. And it's kind of tricky because some of the strings on the hot air balloons are kind of thin, so I had to be really careful when I pulled those off my mat. But you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to paper piece a couple of these together using different patterns and different colors, and I think this turns out really cute. And this is something that you could do if you just love every pattern paper and you want to use a lot of pattern paper, but in small increments like this. It's not going to be as busy. So you don't want to, cover your entire layout with all of these busy patterns. If you do something like this, you can still use a lot of the patterns, but it's in small pieces. And so it's not going to be distracting or too busy, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to glue these little pieces together here, and this comes in handy, the fine liner bottle there, when I'm gluing these teeny tiny pieces down. So I just wanted a couple of really whimsical, bright, different colored hot air balloons. And so I think this turns out cute. I'm not going to make you watch me assemble all of these, but I really like how they turned out. So I've got the small ones made, and I accidentally ripped my big one there at the top. You probably saw that already. And that's what happens when you start to pull things off of your cameo mat too fast. But it turns out in the end, and you can't even tell, I was able to fix it. So I'm going to back this one with a couple of the papers also. And this one's going to be the biggest focal point of my layout. And I'm just going to flip the paper over and trace it, and then just kind of messily cut it out. So I know exactly where it's going to go, and it's going to fit perfectly right on that spot. If you've never backed a cut file, it is so much fun, and the end result always turns out so nice. Like I said before, you get a lot of colors and a lot of patterns in small doses, and it just really makes your layout stand out. And I like when pieces from the collection inspire me to do something like this, because I never would have thought of a hot air balloon, but I love how this turned out. So I'm going to use an older picture here of my smallest child looking cute and chunky in her little swing. And she isn't a swing, but it reminds me of the hot air balloon ropes. So I thought that would be a perfect little picture. And she's got a double chin and big fat cheeks, and I just love her little baby pictures. Well, technically she's not a baby, but she's 8 now, so I guess I would still call her a baby in that picture. But anyway, I think it looks cute, and she's got a cute look on her face. So I'm going to jazz up the background here on some white cardstock, and I'm going to cover it with gesso because I'm going to use gelatos first to create sort of a blue sky background. I just want lots of pretty blue. Since I've got a lot of yellows, pinks, and reds going on in my hot air balloons, I wanted it to be like they're floating in the sky. And when you use gelatos like this, the gesso really helps to help it blend and smudge together. See how I'm doing this? I used the packaging technique, but then I just scribbled right onto the paper and used my finger to smudge it. And since the gesso was on there first, it just blends and smudges so nice. It's very soft, and it's just easy to do. And if you don't have to use gesso, but if you do, it makes the process a lot easier, and the look that you get is different. If you don't use gesso, you're going to be able to see more of the pattern of the cardstock, which is also cool. But it does smudge a little bit differently, and it just depends on the look you're going for. I knew that I also wanted to add some water to this, and I'm going to come in with some ink sprays here in a little bit, and so I just wanted to protect my cardstock so it didn't start to ball up and tear as I smudged with my hand, because you can only do so much smudging with your finger and a little bit of water on the plain cardstock before it's going to start to want to tear. So the gesso kind of helps with that. Now I'm not going to add any clouds or anything like that. I just wanted this soft blue haze in the background, kind of behind everything, just to give the illusion of the sky. And I'm using a couple of different colors of the gelatos here. I've got a light blue, a turquoise, and more of an aqua. And I'm just mixing and matching and blending them together. And I'm going to add a little bit of ink spray here in a little bit. But you kind of see the look I'm going for there. I'm just going to layer all of those cute hot air balloons around the photo. And here's where I'm going to add some spray, just to darken things up a little bit and add a couple of different color variations. And I know I use the packaging technique a lot, but if you're new to my channel or new to the Bella Boulevard channel and you've never tried a mixed media layout and you've never tried the packaging technique, it's very easy and it's very fun to do. And you almost always get a nice, pretty result. So I'm going to start to work on embellishing now, and I'm going to add a little bit of tissue paper behind my picture. I always like to do that. It just gives it kind of a messy, subtle little border without being distracting. And I'm going to situate my photo kind of, it's not exactly on the center, but I want it to be more over to the left a little bit, so it looks like she's looking across the page, since she's looking towards the right. So after I added that foam, I decided I wanted to do some stitching. So I pulled it all off and ran it through my sewing machine and just used white thread to kind of add a little bit of stitching detail through all of those hot air balloons. Now this is from the clear cut pad, and I'm going to cut out a couple more hot air balloons, and the clear cut pad is really cool. Each page does have a protective film over it, so make sure you peel that off before you use it. But I just wanted to add a couple more different sizes. I like all the different sizes and the different colors. Just think it's really, really cute that you know, there's so many different ones, and there's also some in the ephemera pack, the paper pieces. But I didn't want to go too busy and use too many of them. Just to add a little bit more texture and interest to the background, I'm going to add a little bit of aqua thread there. And then I'm going to lightly stick everything down with my ATG gun, just in case I want to move it. I'm not going to glue it yet. I am going to glue this one because I know that's where it's going to go. And the foam that I added just kind of helps to raise it up a little bit and give it a little bit of dimension. And, you know, when you're talking hot air balloons, you definitely want some dimension because they're floating around. And I love how that looks. So now I'm going to start adding some detail. This is a little scalloped border piece from the Paper Pieces collection, or Paper Pieces pack. And I just picked out a couple other things that I thought I might use. I'm also going to use a couple of stickers from the Fundamentals sticker sheet. That's a little tab that says Memories. And I'm going to use that pink heart also. That says Savor the Sweetness. I just think she looks super cute with that look on her face and her wild hair. And I want to put hearts on the other hot air balloons, like the pink one, but I did not have any other solid ones, and so I'm going to wind up fussy cutting a few out here momentarily. I decided to go pretty generic with my title. It's just going to be Fly High. I wanted something kind of short and sweet, and I wanted to use those big chunky yellow alpha stickers from from the Fundamentals sheet. Good grief. There we go. I traced the heart, and so I'm just going to fussy cut out a couple of them in some of the 6x8 papers there and add those to the hot air balloons. So now they all have a heart on them. And I'm going to add a little bit of yellow thread over to the left just for another pop of yellow. I tried to put it under the picture, but it was just too much. So I'm just going to add a little bit there so it's just kind of peeking out from behind. It's going to give a nice little yellow pop of color. So off camera, I did a little bit of straight stitching right through the title, so it's permanently not going anywhere. And I love that pop of yellow. I'm going to add some lines here and just add a little bit of journaling, because I think page was 2 in this picture. So I like going back and scrapping older pictures sometimes just to reminisce of how cute they used to be and how tiny they used to be. And yeah, so that's the final layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love how it turned out. I love how the sky looks with all of those balloons in front of it. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you check out the Bella Boulevard blog and the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see all the collections and all of the fun items in all of the collections. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these products or any of the things that I did. I'll be more than happy to answer. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching.